What's up, guys? It's Chris. Today I'm going to be making my killer tier list for patch 6.2.0. A lot of you guys have been wondering what I think about the current killer standings and also where Wesker stands in the meta, so I thought I would make this as soon as I could after grinding Wesker a bit and seeing how strong he felt. I am going to be putting timestamps to each killer I ranked right after uploading this video so you guys can find any killer you're looking for. And with that out of the way, let's get right into it. So Trapper's can be really fun to play, like super satisfying to get good traps and stuff. And he's got a lot better add-ons now. And he can insta-down survivors without even hitting them. With all that being said, we're going to put him down in D tier. Because any competent group, once they realize where your traps are set up, they're just going to avoid them. Or if they're a Swift, they're just going to call them out. You can't really do anything about that. They can hold it open for each other. Now that dead hard is nerfed and they can't just dead hard through your traps, it does help them a bit. And if you get somebody in the basement, that person's just dead. Like they're just dead if you want them to be. He does have strengths, but realistically in chase, and if people are avoiding the basement, you can get slaughtered on Trapper pretty quick, which is, I also want to bring this up. When I'm talking about my tier list here, I'm going to be factoring in chase power, how strong they are against, Swifts, add-ons, and those are the three main things I'll be like kind of taking into consideration when I'm ranking them. Wraith is pretty solid this patch. He's either top of C or bottom of B for me. And it's because of how nasty the gen kicking build is on him specifically, especially with his add-ons. Shadow Dance. I think I'll put Wraith at bottom of B tier when we get there. I think Wraith is going to be bottom of B tier. Yeah, his synergies with the new gen kicking build are unreal. Now that the boons are nerfed, he's actually solid. Like, he's actually playable. When Circle of Healing got released, this killer was dead. It was a dead killer. But yeah, I think right now he's sitting bottom of B tier, honestly. He's pretty solid. He does have a chase power. He can catch up really easily. Hit and run, always going to be good. Yeah, he's bottom of B, I think. So here's the thing with Billy. He's got great mobility on outdoor maps. His chase power can be pretty strong on certain maps. It's a killer that you have to put a lot of time into to really learn how to use him. Even like back revving people, if you're not a little bit experienced with Billy, it can be pretty tough. Like when I say like just being right on top of somebody and revving your chainsaw and getting the hit that way, you could still miss it pretty easily if people are just going back and forth, spinning around and stuff like that. Billy is C tier for me. He's pretty map dependent. His add-ons don't do him really any favors. If you mess up with your power and bump into something, it hurts you a lot, especially with one of his better add-ons, the spike boots. The fact that Hillbilly still has an overheat mechanic in 2022 is mind-boggling to me. When killers like Nurse, or Artist, even Blight, Nurse, are out there, the fact that he has an overheat on this chainsaw and you get punished just for using your power is kind of goofy to me. Bubba's a different story, though. Okay, I think this looks better. Then we have Nurse, who is, it's not even close. She is the best of the best. The second best killer in the game, a lot of people would agree, is Blight, and I'm kind of on board, just because of how nutty his add-ons are. And the new perks system and everything did more for him than it did for Artist. It really did. Yeah, I don't think I really have to say anything here. She ignores every single thing on the map and somehow still gets to use Starstruck and Devour when Blight doesn't. Makes no sense. She moves faster than Blight in her blink. The killer's existence literally prevents devs from creating perks because the perks on her would be just stupid. Like you saw with Wesker's new perk. It's unbelievable. And I don't want to talk about her anymore. So we're going to take Myers now. Again, now, I know a lot of people want to just throw Myers in D tier and be done with him. They want to say, oh, he's just a M1 killer, right? His add-ons are fucking gross. Purple Tombstone is so unfair. You have no idea that he has it once he pops his tier 3 on you right when you're working on gen and he kills you out of the game before you've even been chased. You have no clue. He has an infinite add-on that makes his tier 3 infinite. So just think if a killer had uncleansable no-ed, like in endgame or something like that. Like, get real, bro. Pair that with something like with his extra vault speed, throw on Bamboozle, Infectious Monitor. The killer is actually super strong, especially against survivors that aren't Swifting. Against Swifts, it can be significantly harder. Hag's going to end up being bottom of A for me. Simply because, again, a competent Swift can really, really make your life miserable on this killer. I'm not the greatest Hag in the world, and I'm not going to pretend to be, but I've gone against solid squads on comms, and when they call out your web and take one hit and sprint across the map, heal up in their boon, tap a gen for 5 seconds, take a hit, sprint across the map, heal up in their boon. I mean, it just feels awful. If you're not bringing Franklins against flashlights, it can really hurt you. If you're not being on top of resetting your web every time, you know, survivors are popping your traps, you're going to have no chase powers of 110, especially if they're following you around with flashlights. It can just suck. Basement's really strong, though. She has great add-ons. And against a team that's not super strong and paying attention to everything you're doing, she could tear right through you. And then we got Doctor. I don't look here. Doctor has great built-in info with his Static Blast, and his add-ons help out a lot too. He has nice add-ons. Not that anybody's ever gonna fucking read any of them because they're like 3 pages long. But also, when you see the Doctor's like after image thing, that means the survivor's right there. So that's also more info. He has a pretty nice chase power if you can get people cornered. And the amount of unique builds you can run on Doctor are, I think, now second to only Wesker, probably. And we'll get to him in a bit. But yeah, I think the Doctor's kind of slept on. He doesn't have anything that he's insanely good at besides that info. So if nothing else, you could just play him as an M1 with extremely good built-in info and run 4 perks that aren't information. So I think Doctor's pretty cracked. Yeah, Huntress is easily better than Hag. It's more reliable, especially once you understand the hitboxes and stuff you can hit over and what you can't. More reliable than Hag. She can camp, arguably better than Hag, because you can be hitting people before they even get near the hook, and then they have no chance to even get near you. She's really, really good at camping. She has great add-ons across the board, like a built-in sloppy hatchets, eerie head, 2 extra hatchets, faster reloading, the aura reading one, oak haft. She has great add-ons, pretty much from yellow to eerie. She's really solid, and there's not really much a good group can do if you know what you're doing on this killer. You'll see, you know, like Coconut RTS, absolutely insane at this killer. He could easily show what this killer could do when played to her like full potential. So the killer's nutty. She's really, really good and very simple to understand. You know, you wind up a hatchet and you throw a hatchet. It's not any of this like Doctor where you're reading fucking like 10-page essays on his add-ons, right? You grab a hatchet and you throw it faster with this add-on. You grab a hatchet and you hit him down instantly with this one, right? So, yeah, she's really good. All right, next, though, we got Bubba. Bubba is going to be near the top of B. I don't know if he'll be the king of B tier, but he's right up there. Great builds. The new patch did nothing but help him. Outside of, you know, most of the Bubba players that bring no-ed, you know who you are. Yeah, the greatest camper in the game, probably. Maybe not a Trickster with main event. No, but Bubba's got great add-ons too. Double Chili's cracked. His engravings can actually be used for mobility, which is pretty funny. Eerie Flesh is an insane add-on. Really, really good. Bubba, if he gets it down, that person's dead. Base kit. You know, no questions asked. If he wants somebody dead, that person is going to die. And it's just that simple. Bubba's the king of B tier, I think. Maybe. And then we got Freddy. This patch, I want to say Freddy's probably D tier. Here's my reason behind it. His old meta build, which was Tinkerer, probably Ruin and Dying or Ruin Pop, Maybe like a chase perk in there. It's dead. Tinkerer is a dead perk. The only reason Freddy was higher in the list for me is because of how well he used those meta perks. Because he could just teleport to a gen, force people off it, and use that slowdown and just buy him stupid amounts of time. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to close out oh no, I'm blocking it. Never mind, we're good. But yeah, the reason I would have put him higher is just because of how much he could slow down the game just for free by teleporting to a gen every time Tinkerer pops or something like that. Pig's also D. Her ambush, if anybody is going to sit here and tell you that her ambush is anything more than a way to save the best for last stacks in 90% of your games, they're lying to you. Her ambush is pretty much useless. You'll almost never get value out of it unless a killer really, or a survivor really corners themselves, or somebody's newer and doesn't know to just W key when you're about to use your power, like to another loop. Her traps are insane slowdown. They're ridiculous, but that's pretty much her whole power. And the fact that you need to get it down just as an M1 killer, with a lot of these disgusting maps that they've come out with, like Garden of Joy, the new RPD, the fact that you need a down to be able to use your power on shit like that, let alone do it 4 times, it's pretty rough. So a killer that realistically has nothing going for her until she gets somebody down cannot be anywhere near anybody above her. I would almost say I think Freddy's still better than Pig right now. I'm not saying Pig's bad, but her stealth is the worst stealth in the entire game. Like, I would literally just be Blight with his undetectable add-on, then crouches Pig around the map, like straight up. So yeah, Pig's in D tier still. Clown surprised me though. So talking about Clown, I think he is very bottom of B tier, which is amazing because I never thought he'd be that high ever. The new patch did so much for him. Running Save the Best for Last and Dissolution on this killer alone feels so disgusting in Chase. Like, just the speed that you can down people. You hit them with a bottle with 8 stacks of save, and then you M1 them. They get no distance at all. Then, you know, they look to drop a pallet or something, pre-drop, because that's what people do against Clown. They can't vault it, or it instantly breaks and you get the down. I mean, the killer's definitely not bad anymore. Jolt's awesome on him too, which got a really nice buff. I think he's bottom of B now. And he's got stuff like Pinky Finger, 2 extra bottles, or reading through walls if you use your yellow bottles. Like, he's got some really solid add-ons as well. So I think Clown is really surprisingly in B tier for me now. Now we got Spirit, who I am going to say is back in S tier after the Iron Will nerfs. Still keeping her mother-daughter ring, Yakiyoke amulet, stuff like that. She has, across the board, I think Spirit has the best add-ons in the entire game. They're very easy to use. Maybe some people have trouble with mother-daughter ring, but if you're bringing Strider with that, I mean, there's no issue at all. Just turn up your headphones like 5%. You can hear them. Every footstep, every breath. Yeah, Spirit's back at S tier now. Before I thought she was A. She's still not in, like, I would say Artist still has the edge on her. We'll talk about that later. Even after the nerfs and everything, she's right up there. Now we got Legion. He's going to be above Bubba for me this patch. Even though Thanatophobia just got nerfed recently, it's still insane on Legion. He got some nutty add-ons, like the Never Sleep pills. You could do such crazy perk combos. Such a diverse, like, builds across the board you can run on him. It's on them. It's crazy. He can camp hard as fuck. In endgame, if he has somebody hooked and all 3 teammates come to try and save that person, somebody's dead instantly. Whether it's the person who just got unhooked or not, he could just down them. Yeah, he's got a crazy amount of builds that are really good on him, especially after the new patch. Gen kicking, Thanatophobia, Pentimento Plaything, Terror Radius stuff with Dark Devotion. It's pretty crazy, the stuff you can do, especially with his add-ons. Enduring Spirit Fury with Eerie Button and, is that Susie's mixtape? Then we got Plague. Again, we're including add-ons here. So, if you are a Plague that brings double apples, you are a fucking monster. She has maps that are bad for her, like indoor maps, Meat Plant, RPD, Larry's. She could do well on Midwich, but every single killer in the game can, so. She doesn't have the mobility that a lot of the other top tier killers can have. Her red puke is one of the 3 strongest powers in the game, I think. Well, okay, Nurse's power, Oni's, and then probably the Plagues. Amazing at using Thanatophobia, which is still really good on her. If people are cleansing, you're going to be downing people so quick. They can't go for... If you want to trade from a hook, also, you will get it on this killer 100% by just holding your puke, fully infecting. Or if you have your Corrupt Purge, just downing both of the people, the person who got unhooked and the person who unhooked them. No problem. The killer's pretty insane. And if you watch, like, really strong Plague players playing her, just hitting people over loops and stuff like that, it's ridiculous the stuff you can do. She's got to be in A tier. I'm going to put her above Hag as well. I will put Ghostface at top of C. They gave him a lot of love on his add-ons, so they're a lot better now. Lethal is crazy on this killer. The snowball you can get with him is nuts. Running stuff like Devour or even like Make Your Choice on him, you're going to be getting really quick hits. He's short and can be almost perma-undetectable. He has the best stealth out of any of the killers just built in. Definitely better than Pig, better than Myers. The biggest problem with him is the lack of a chase power. So on a strong survivor-sided map, even if you're exposing people, unless you really get the drop on them, they can run you for the whole duration. With the amount of pallets and stuff like Guard of Joy, Meat Plant, Cowshed, RPD, the list goes on. But once you can get rolling, get people set up 99, you could be having a really good time with this killer. So yeah, unfortunately, I do think even with the add-on changes and stuff, and the printer chase music, he's still a C-tier killer for me. Mo has a very solid chase power. It's really, really solid. He has great mobility. You can place portals on gens, use your shred every once in a while to check if survivors are doing those gens. You could be playing around 4 to 5 from the start with Corrupt and just like dominate those gens. Don't let them do anything. And be in for a really good time. He's the best user of Save the Best for Last in the entire game. And the perk in its current state with all the changes to Killer is very, very good on anybody who can use it. So that right there is like pretty much automatic B tier. On top of that, you can run stuff like Devour with the Lifeguard Whistle and know exactly when a survivor's near your totem and be able to defend it, get a snowball rolling. It's really, really tough to deal with. Like in my Toxic Demogorgon build, it's really, really nasty. So I think Demo's a solid top of B. I think Demo's just like a really solid all-around killer. Okay, here's the thing with Oni. You know, you can bring up the point, Oni needs to get the hit to be able to get his power, which is true. And it can be hard if you're playing against a fucking comp god squad, right? The amount of times I've played Oni and actually ran into a team like that, if ever, is very, very, very low. If I've ever seen a team where I don't get a hit in the first, like, minute of the game, that percentage of teams has been very, very low. Now, the one thing is, yeah, if you do run into those teams, it can feel pretty bad. But he also has great builds for him with the gen kicking stuff. It is nasty on him. Gift of Pain on Oni is gross, especially because, say you down somebody and hook them on a Gift of Pain hook. They choose not to heal, you get millions of blood orbs for free. If they choose to heal, the next time you down them will probably be with your power, and you'll insta-down them, and hook them on a scourge hook immediately again. It doesn't feel good as a survivor to play against something like that. Outside of Nurse, Oni has the most disgusting power in the game, but you do need to actually like get it. You need to get that hit and get it rolling. So only if he just had this base like Billy has his chainsaw, this killer would be stronger than Blight for sure. Like, you have to understand that. He would be absolutely fucking unreal. So yeah, he's top of A. I think Oni might be, looking at the rest of this list, I think Oni's the king of A tier for me. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna move Demo to the bottom of A tier right now. I think Deathslinger's top of B. So with all the new endurance perks in the game and stuff, Deathslinger says fuck you, right? He's just a dead hard, off the record, new BT, Metal of Man. Deathslinger says go fuck yourself, right? He just does. Especially with the new changes to killer, breaking pallets faster, recovery off hits, and you running save the best for last on this killer, which he's really good with save the best for last. W and keying this killer is not going to happen. It's a complete nightmare. Stuff like Jolt, Starstruck Agitation on him are nutty. He doesn't have any super game-changing add-ons. The reload speed ones are nice. The fatigue duration ones are nice, and Iridescent Coin is really, really solid when you can make it work. But the main thing is just how much the recent changes have done for him that make him really, really strong now. Yeah, I think Deathslinger's the top of B, and we'll put Demo in A. Pyramid Head is lower for me than he's ever been. And, you know, a lot of people might not like it. A lot of smart survivors are going to will literally choose to go down quicker than get tormented if they know they're going to go down relatively soon, close to that. His power can be clunky at times, but using it around vaults and stuff is still really, really solid. I mean, he can get nurse-like hits similar to the Artist and Chase, but it's a lot less reliable. His old meta build, what I think felt the best for him was Ruin Undying, Tinkerer, Retribution. And now that Ruin's pretty much dead, you can feel. And on this killer, I think that was his staple build. Oh, also, I want to say another reason why he's lower than Hag and Demo is because, let's be honest, if any of you have ever looked at Pyramid Head's add-ons, they are fucking pathetic, bro. Pyramid Head's add-ons make me want to fucking throw up. They're, like, I could pick out 2 that I would ever use, and that's the range ones. And maybe the duration on, you know, holding his power. That's it. His add-ons are fucking bad. Next up, we got Blight. He's top S tier. The new changes did nothing but good things for him. Good luck running DS against Blight. Off the record, anything. He doesn't give a fuck. Gen kicking build. Scourge hook builds. Whatever the fuck you want on this killer, just run it and it'll fucking work. Enduring Spirit Fury, whatever. His add-ons are fucking stupid. Stupid good. If Artist had half of the good add-ons that he had, she would be stronger. I think. That's just me. I'm really, you know, I'm a Artist fanboy. But yeah, no. His add-ons are fucking stupid. Stupid good. And the amount of builds you can run on him don't end. So, Blight's still right at the top there. I think the twins are top of B. The new changes to perks didn't really do shit for them. Maybe outside of Gift of Pain. They have a lot of counterplay, and they're super punishing to mess up on even one time. Even getting a hit sometimes feels like you're getting punished for existing. Because then after you down somebody with Victor, you have to wait 15 seconds to be able to fucking play the game again. They are nasty at camping, though. They are nasty at slugging. If you are good with Victor and very consistent, I'll throw him up here. Or throw twins up here. A tier. Probably put them B tier just because of how shit their add-ons are as well. Can I put them here? Next, we got Trickster. But here's the thing. I honestly don't want to fill up B tier. But I know if I put Trickster below Clown, people are going to lose their fucking minds. And I would too, probably. I'm going to put Trickster here in B tier, above Wraith and Clown. This is the killer I hate to play against the most in the entire game, even more than like a nurse. Here's the thing with Trickster. In an open area, or even in not an open area, it is near impossible to fuck up 44 knives when you only have to hit like 10 of them to down somebody. 6 to injure, right? 12 to down. Isn't that what it is? He has pretty solid add-ons, very, very easy to use. Just as easy as his base kit is to use. Even a brand new player to the game, if they have decent tracking from like an FPS game or something, will be able to down an experienced survivor in a, you know, not great area. Stupid fast. And the survivor has no counterplay to it. Out of the ranged killers, Trickster is by far the most cringe to me. Unless you want to count Engineer's Fang Pinhead, but I don't want to get into that. Trickster is fucking cringe, bro. He's nastier at camping than Huntress, probably. Easier in every way than Huntress and Chase. We got Nemi now. Here's what I'll say about Nemesis before we place him anywhere. He can deal with the new palette dense maps that Behavior keeps creating better than the majority of the killers on this list. That being said, he can take 4 hits to down people, which feels terrible, you know, with dead hard and stuff like that. I get almost negative zombie value anytime I play this killer ever. So you should just disregard that in his power as a whole because they're fucking terrible. But his power's really, really strong if you know what you're doing with it. All right, I'm going to leave Nemesis in B tier right there for now. I think that looks like a good spot for him. Next up, we got Pinhead. I don't know how so many people end up disagreeing with me on this. I think Pinhead's an easy A tier. The box with stuff like Dead Man's Switch and stuff like that is fucking gross, bro. Engineer's Fang is disgusting. His base perks are so good. He is great. He has really, really solid add-ons in the purple category. Engineer's Fang is gross. And if you're running a build with like Hoarder in it and being able to chain those boxes together, the slowdown of this killer is insane. Like, ridiculous. His chase power is really good too, once you know what you're doing with it. I think Pinhead's an easy A for me. Now we got the artist. We got a winner. Okay. Artist is S tier. She's still better than Spirit. She's still better than Spirit. Doesn't get the edge over Blight though with his fucking ridiculous add-ons. The artist just doesn't have the add-ons to compete with Blight. She, in Chase, ignores loops completely like Nurse does. She can zone survivors out of any important areas she wants to, and if they're not getting zoned, they're just getting hit by a bird. She can be chasing somebody and downing somebody across the map. She can be hitting 2 people at once, 3 people at once with severed hands. The killer is fucking nuts, dude. One sad thing I found about the artist is, while she does have a couple builds that can be pretty reliable on her, depending on how you're playing her in a given game, she doesn't have the build diversity to really be at the top, like Nurse, Blight, and Spirit. I think for her to stay solid in S tier, you really do want that Dead Man Switch on the artist pretty much every game if you're looking to win. I think the perk's just too good on her, and she's probably the reason it got nerfed to begin with. Yeah, but other than that, I think it's an easy S tier for the artist. Just the shit you can do on her. Any other killer in the game can't fucking dream of hitting 3 people at the exact same time. They just can't do it. It's not gonna happen. Okay, next up we got Onryo. Alright, next up we got... Okay, no. We'll talk about her a little bit. She's definitely better than Freddy. She does have a chase power. I was wrong. Before in one of my tier lists, I said that the Onryo has no chase power. It's not true. It's just fucking garbage. Her chase power is just shit. So you can use her, like, manifesting around a pallet once you have pallet control to kind of throw off a survivor and make them go one way, fake them out, and go back. Stuff like that. People have said with that brown add-on, the newspaper, it's really strong. I haven't gotten to try it yet, but I'll take their word for it that it makes it better. Can't make it any worse. So, No, but she has great mobility. You know, everybody's been talking about, oh, that one pump Willie Onryo guy. Yeah. You know, he's condemning solo queue survivors and getting a win out of it. It's not going to happen against a really strong team. Her add-ons aren't super game-changing. I do love running Make Your Choice Floods of Rage with bloody fingernails on her. It feels really, really good. I know the survivors can't enjoy going down that quickly to an Onryo consistently, but it is a really strong combo. Her add-ons are just nothing insane, any of them. Nothing super game-changing. Besides the one where you could like start with the tape. That one's pretty good. All right, next we got Dredge. I think I was wrong about Dredge in my initial ranking of him at the top of A tier. Don't get me wrong. He has fantastic mobility. In Nightfall especially. He has... So, yeah, the Dredge... Yeah, I was wrong about him. Yeah, he does have fantastic mobility. He does have anti-loop, but it's very W-keyable, and survivors love to throw up out in W-key. They just do. Especially on the fucking Garden of Joy and stuff like that. Gross. I keep bringing up that map, but it's just an embarrassment. It's so bad. He has pretty much everything a killer could want. Undetectable in Nightfall. Great mobility. He has anti-loop. Really, really unique builds you can run with him. Like, I really like the sloppy knockout combo because you can be getting people injured until Nightfall, and in Nightfall, you're slugging, getting max value out of that. Kind of toxic. People don't really like pinning against it most of the time, but it's really, really good. Make Your Choice, Floods of Rage, Monster Shrine, gen kicking stuff with his mobility. He's got a lot of really solid builds, and his add-ons are not bad either. From yellow up, he's got some really solid add-ons. Just nothing super outstanding. Like, I would still say Demo has better mobility. I would still say, you know, Hag, Plague, Huntress, Oni, everybody in here, honestly, in A tier has a better chase power. But he just has so much going for him in his kit overall that I have to put him in A tier, like, or I would feel bad about it. So I think that's where Dredge is going to sit. I think this is a good spot for Dredge. Last but not least, we got Wesker. Oh, man, this killer's fucking fun. But the ridiculous amount of bugs that I've seen just in these 3 days that I've been really grinding him, and I've been grinding him to really try and get a feel for this tier list where I want to put him. It's goofy. So what I want to do for this tier list is try my best to ignore all the bugs I've seen and pretend they don't exist, because hopefully soon the bugs will be gone and then this list will be completely accurate. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, let's try and set aside all the bugs here. Pretty solid mobility and super, super fun. He has a huge range of add-ons that aren't like insanely game-changing like Blights or Spirits, but they are really, really nice. He's got some really, really nice add-ons across the board. I think there's only been like a couple that I've seen. Even the brown, I think it's called Unicorn Medallion. I think that's a fantastic add-on to make your first rush go farther and your second one a little bit shorter. I think that's the perfect sweet spot for Wesker because you can close more distance right away, and then your second one's less punishing if you do end up missing with the wonky hitbox at the current time. But yeah, so he's got a great range of add-ons. A crazy amount of builds you can run on him with a 40-meter terror radius. You know, if you want to go for the gen kicking stuff, I felt that was really, really good on him. A chase power-oriented build with brutal strength, save the best for last, stuff like that. Starstruck. There's so many builds that feel great on this killer that I honestly at this point can't think of a build that's like his meta build because there's so many that are so strong. And for that, with all that combined, you know, bugs aside right now, you can play around God Pallets. He can hit multiple people at once as well. You have to remember that. If somebody's trying to body block for another healthy survivor, you could just slam them fucking into him, which is sick as hell. I think I feel really, really comfortable. Remember, bugs aside, I think I'm really comfortable putting Wesker right here. Above Dredge, but below Plague. He has so much going for him with mobility and his chase power and the builds you can run, his add-on. There is really so much that this killer could do. I think he's the new strongest licensed killer in the game. Once the bugs are ironed out, you have to remember that. When the bugs are all completely ironed out, I think this killer's holding an easy A spot. So for me personally, this is my list. I would love to hear if you guys disagree with anything. I'd love to have the conversation. That is going to do it for this video. Like I just said at the end there, I would love to hear if any of you guys disagree with me or agree with me on my tier list. I really love talking about what people think about killer standings and stuff like that. And I know you won't agree with every single thing on this list. But for me personally, this is how I'm feeling, especially with all the recent changes to killers and perk and the way each killer can play around those things. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. And I will catch you guys in the next one.